Man, I got to tell y'all this story about the Krix room in Cedia 2025. Shout out to everybody at Cedia. Your boy ended up getting into Cedia after getting rejected 3 or 4 times. This is what happened, right? Before we get into all the Krix speaker and all that. So Youth Man ends up doing a video and he posted on his channel. And he's saying in the video, he's looking forward to going to Cedia, but everybody can't go there. And mind you, I already booked a hotel, a flight, everything to go out there, right? And when he said that, I went on the Cydia website and I seen that you can only really get in there like if you submit an application and you're approved, right? Because this is more for like vendors and dealers and media and stuff like that. It's not really to be open for the general public because they're gonna have some things that hasn't been presented yet to the public and they don't want. I don't know, for whatever reason, it's just supposed to be kind of like a type hidden like event for people, right? So only the who's who can go there, right? So after he said that, I put a comment underneath his post like, yo, me and my girl, we already got flights to go out there, whatever. He was like, just fill out the application. So I filled out the application, denied. They're like, yo, we can't, you can't, you're denied. You know what I'm saying? And then it says that you were supposed to fill it out like weeks prior. And so he gave me like somebody's contact to get in touch with. Shout out to Youth Man, very, very helpful with that. And try to give me the contact. But then I seen like in the email, somebody was like, well, you can come to the ribbon cutting, but the application, it's not, what it is. Because I had submitted like my YouTube channel, but it was for my big channel that had nothing to do with theater. So I resubmitted I updated the application and resubmitted with the Late Night Talk channel. And when I did that, because it was so much home theater on there, they didn't care about the subscribers or whatever, because I think I had like 1,800 subscribers, 1,900 subscribers. They didn't really care about that. They went ahead and let it through. I did get denied a couple more times, but it was some weird things. But then they went ahead and let it through. And when I went to the Cedia 2025, it wasn't what I was expecting. It was basically, they have a lot of technology from everywhere, but most of it is just like lighting. You know what I mean? Like kind of like Philips Hue competition. It's like security systems. It's stuff like that. It's not like what you're going to think. Like you're just going to walk in and see a whole bunch of Sony TVs and LG TVs. And it's nothing like that. I mean, they do have that stuff there, but you got to get prepared for like 60% of the show to be like some off branded things that you don't know anything about. You know what I mean? So, when I went there, I got a chance to see, I think it was like a Lindorf room. They had I think like a Lindorf Steinway, but I couldn't go in there because it was like closed by appointment only. Then I went into another room that had like a Epson like setup, and they had Polk R700, Epson system. Left there, went up to the main room where they have everything at, and then I was like, yo, where's the home theater? I gotta see home theater. So people like directed me to, they had SVS was there. Shout out to SVS. Then they had Ascendo had a turn-off room. It's like a dedicated theater room. It's like around Sound Room 6. They had that. It was like I think like 4 or 5 like theater rooms like right there. And I seen they had a Krix room. So I'm like, man, I've never heard Krix, but I always hear like he's like a YouTuber from Australia. So always talking about Krix system, this, Krix system, that. And I've heard a lot of systems in my day. I go to like hi-fi stores. I've been to like Switzerland, Zurich, Switzerland, Lake Como, Italy, Genoa, Italy, Milan, Italy. Been to Amsterdam, different places. And like if I see a hi-fi store, I stop and I try to listen to what they have and stuff. But I've never seen a Krix system. I've seen a lot of home theater setups, different processors, receivers, all of that, but never seen like a system connected to Krix speakers. So when I was there, I was just like, oh, well, let me go check this out. So we went into the room, the Krix room, right? Waited. I think the wait was about like probably 40 minutes because this is a long line. Finally get in there. And I look around, I'm looking at the speakers, and they don't have it to where you can see the speakers behind the projector. You could just see the speakers on the wall, like the front wides. You can see the side speakers, you can see the subwoofers in the back, and all of that, right? So the guy comes in and he's telling us and preparing us what we're about to see, right? And he's like filling around with his phone, and then boom! Like this big, huge sound out of nowhere. Nobody was prepared for it. He didn't warn us about it. Nothing. It's like you're taking your receiver, your processor, and you're turning it to -0. You know what I mean? As low as this thing would go. Like it's what he just did. And everybody just jarred, and we were kind of floored. Like, what just happened? you know, and I'm like, I'm freaking out. I'm checking, I'm making sure I can hear, you know, because he just did that. And it's just like, yo, whoa, bruh. You know, I'm like freaked out like at this time. He's like, oh, sorry. It's, you know, we're running a Trent off system. We've been having a lot of problems with Trent off and the Wi-Fi connection we've having like, so we're losing, it's syncing. We're having audio sync issues. Like I always say, like Trent off has audio sync issues, right? We're having audio sync issues and then there's a delay with inputs and all, like they're saying like there's all kind of problems that they're dealing with Krix, right? And so it was just like, you know, a lot of us are kind of getting ready to get up and leave. You know, because we don't want our eardrums to be blown out and having this tertian tube issues and, you know what I mean, all of that. But we ended up staying and listening to the Krix system. And I will say this, they look okay. They're not like really my favorite looking speakers from what I could see from the sides and the front wise. They looked okay, but they were like underwhelming. Like when he finally turned it to the appropriate volume to where we can listen. They were kind of underwhelming, you know, and it makes me wonder like whether or not Australia like has a lot of competition in the home theater world or like just in music speakers in general to where like, do they know what like really sounds like really good? Cause you know, like a lot of us here, we've heard a lot of different speakers, right? And you know, I've heard that, you know, a lot of people tout Pearliston and I'm going to make a whole nother video about them. You know what I mean? I love the build quality of Pearliston and all of that, but speaker wise, I feel like the Pearlistons are just okay, you know what I'm saying? Like they sound super neutral, kind of lifeless, you know. And shout out to, you know, Shane Lee kept it real one time. He was just like, yo, they kind of like super neutral speakers, you know, they're not meant to be bright or nothing like that. They're just really neutral. It's like gives you a proper gauge of different things. But like I've always felt that when I, you know, listen to Pearlistons, like in every room I've ever went in, I'm just like, you know, me and my girls like, yo, they just don't really sound that good. They look amazing. You know, like even the subwoofers look insane. Like even the D212s look insane. You know what I'm saying? The big 18 subwoofers look insane, right? The build quality far superior than a lot of different products. But when it comes to listening to it, oftentimes very, very underwhelming. You know, I must say with the Pearlistons, it's just my opinion. And I know a lot of these reviewers are getting paid or kickbacks or, you know, or whatever to promote the Pearlistons. But I just felt like, you know, I've always felt like they were very underwhelming and super overpriced. You know what I mean? And I get it because some speakers like what are they, the Ravella 2s or, you know, speakers like that, like they sound good. Some Focals sound good. Like they're, you know, they're a little higher in price, but they actually sound like they're supposed to, like, you know, where the price point is a lot of times with these speakers, like the Nautilus speakers. I heard the Nautilus speakers are like $100,000 speakers and they're like just okay, you know. But the Krix speakers, I felt like they were reminiscent a little bit the Pearlistons to where they were just like super neutral sounding. And I mean, hey, if they like that in Australia, whatever, you know, wherever they produce these things, if they like that sound, so be it. But like in movies, I want to hear some life to my speakers. I want to, you know what I mean? Like I want to hear a little bit of even the top end. Let it be a little, not super bright, but just have a little life to them. And I felt that the treble was either it was the processor or the Trent off, how they had it like calibrated. Maybe that was what it was, but the Krix speaker sounds super lifeless, you know, like to me. And he cranked it up. Not just the time we almost blew our ears out. Like he cranked it, you know what I mean? He cranked it to a reasonable listening level and cranked it up a little bit. And it was just okay. You know, they didn't sound better than Ascendos. If I had to, because we came from listening to Ascendo speakers in a Trent off system. Like I think it was like 2 over from the Krix room. And, you know, we came from listening to Ascendos with a Storm. No, the Ascendo speakers had the Storm audio processor at Cedia 2025. Ascendo uses the Trent off at Audio Vice Live 2025. But at Cedia 2025, Ascendo speakers were paired with the Storm audio processor. So we went from there and then we listened to the Krix and I was not impressed. You know, so I'm curious what anybody, like how y'all feel about the Krix speakers. Is it just like a marketing thing? Like, or is it Is it something else to them? Are we missing something? Are they supposed to be paired with a different system, or like what's going on? Because with these Krix speakers, I had no, and then they said the price of everything. I think it was like close to $500,000 if I'm not mistaken. You know what I mean? If it was that room, or maybe it was the Lumigen room that was like super expensive. But I think it was like over like $200,000, like over that, for that room. So it's like for that price, and I know a lot of it is like the projector, the screen, all of the speakers and all, you know what I mean? The processor, like Altitude 32, there's like 30 some $1,000 on its own, you know what I mean? But I get it, you got seating and everything, but like for those speakers, I was not impressed. I've heard a lot of systems, Paradigm, like a lot of speaker systems, and just that was not it for me. So y'all stay in Australia, wherever y'all at. Or, hey, open up the market to America. Hey, in America, I am surprised. Some people are cool with getting, like, speakers and that may not sound good and just argue for them. You know what I mean? Like, or paying astronomical money for different things that may not sound that great. I don't know. But the Krix speakers definitely was not a fan. You know what I mean? But no disrespect to them. The people were really cool. My hearing is back. So I don't know. If y'all can, next time y'all run a Krix system with a Trinoff, please, if you're going to have people in there demoing it, make sure it's going to be working appropriate. I know Trinoff is really finicky, but you guys almost blew our eardrums out. You know what I mean? So that would have been a nice lawsuit there. But then the lawsuit would have been pointless. I would have got millions, not being able to hear and buy the theater that I really want. You know what I mean? Like, so... But shout out to Krix. It's not to diss y'all. My personal opinion, I was underwhelmed. I know y'all been doing business for what, like, what is it? They say 50 years or something like that. I don't know. But I just definitely was not impressed. You know what I'm saying? But y'all, tell me what y'all think down in the comment section below. Comment, rate, subscribe. Let me know what y'all think about that. Peace.